we're trying to fix it. It's like there's a hole in the civilization, and trillions of dollars of energy are flowing out of that container every year, and we need to plug the hole. I think of it like this. If you think about the basis of the money supply, it's the US dollar is the reserve currency of the world. All the other currencies are linked to it. You've got $100 trillion worth of that stuff floating around. And then you've got other currency derivatives. You've got bonds, massive amounts of bonds, massive amounts of real estate property, and stocks, and you've got companies that are valued based on cash flows. And so let's say we have $500 trillion worth of stuff in the civilization that all is really predicated upon this fundamental unit of account, store of value, medium of exchange, which is the fiat currency. That underlying currency, that's collapsing right now. And we talked about it collapsing 10 to 20% a year, right? And all of those derivatives of the currency are losing value. So you could almost think about the civilization resting on a platform which has got a big hole in it. And the energy of the civilization is draining out that hole. Bitcoin represents a new monetary base. What we have is a digital scarcity. And the idea is 100 years ago, we thought gold should be the basis, and then it became fiat should be the basis.
Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, Chairman of MicroStrategy and biggest Bitcoin proponent Michael Saylor shares his macro outlook on Bitcoin energy misconceptions and the ESG FUD going on. Michael also reveals why it is so hard for people to understand the concept of Bitcoin mining and why he is foreseeing an inevitable crash in the fiat system. Make sure to stick around till the end of this video where Michael Saylor reveals how Bitcoin is solving actual problems compared to other crypto assets.
Bitcoin is one step beyond that, right? If you create a digital asset without an issuer, you've created a commodity, a digital commodity. But you haven't created digital money or a digital scarcity. If you want to create the perfect digital money, you don't just want a commodity, right? Remember stock to flow?
Yeah.
Right? So silver is a commodity that makes bad money. Bales of tobacco and seashells and glass beads are commodities that make crappy money. Gold is a commodity that makes better money because it's got a higher stock to flow ratio, right? Bitcoin is a commodity that makes the best money because the stock to flow ratio is infinite. In essence, it's 21 million. We know where it ends. It's completely capped, completely scarce. Dogecoin may or may not be a digital commodity. I'm not sure because I'd have to determine whether or not it was ethically launched and whether or not it was truly decentralized and whether or not there's anyone that has true influence over it. I can honestly say I haven't studied it enough to know whether it is or isn't.
Neither have I.
Let's say hypothetically you forked some Bitcoin code, but then you changed some of the code to remove the halvings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you would have a digital asset that you might be able to argue is a commodity. If you forked it, gave it to the world, disappeared, and it ran like Bitcoin, but without the halvings, then it would simply continue to inflate at whatever 3-4% a year, X% a year, forever.
Yeah.
Right? Now that's a commodity, but it's not a scarcity. It's weak money. It's not strong money. It's not hard money. It's weaker money. And of course, you could make an ethical argument that you should be able to trade it on a crypto exchange without filing a registration statement. Right? Like if I want to, the thing that's missing right now is the ability to actually apply to the CFTC or the SEC and submit your crypto network and say this token should be deemed a commodity, right? But let's say that they've already agreed Bitcoin is a commodity. There's nobody to apply because it's so decentralized that there's no one left. But I could just take the protocol and submit it, and I could say, look, no one has the power to change it. The protocol hasn't substantially changed in years and years and years. Is this commodity? They would probably say yes. I don't see an issuer. There's no ICO. There's no pre-mine. There's no one that seems to have it. Satoshi looks like Satoshi mined a lot of coins, but they haven't moved, and Satoshi's gone. So yeah, it looks like a commodity.
Michael Saylor has come out swinging against what he says is misinformation and propaganda about the environmental impacts of proof of work, or POW, Bitcoin mining. The MicroStrategy executive chairman, who recently stepped down as CEO, has detailed 7 of his high-level thoughts on Bitcoin mining and its impact on the environment.
Now, if I forked Bitcoin in the year 2022 and I removed the halvings, and Bitcoin's just and this is like Bitcoin light, or weak coin, we'll call it weak coin, or maybe it's miner coin, because like some miner decides it's a good idea because their block rewards will just stay constant. I could create miner coin, MINER or MINOR, depending upon the plan you want. Miner coin, and I fork that. And I submit that application to the CFTC, and I say, look, this is this. There's like 27 miners that are mining miner coin. Is this a security or commodity? If I did it in a fair and equitable fashion, it would be a digital asset without an issuer, because you're allowed to do a little bit of software engineering. Like you can copy and paste the code, change the halving line, and issue it to the public domain. You're just not allowed to give yourself an ICO, give yourself 20% of the supply, sell 20% to the general. You can't sell 20% to the general public, keep 20%, and then keep control of the protocol, and then call it a commodity, you see?
One of his key arguments was against the notion that POW BTC mining isn't energy efficient. Instead, Saylor claims it is the cleanest industrial use of electricity and is improving its energy efficiency at the fastest rate across any major industry. He backed up this argument with figures taken from the Q2 Global Bitcoin Data Mining Review published in July by the Bitcoin Mining Council, a group of 45 companies that claim to represent 50.5% of the global network, noting, "Our metrics show 59.5% of energy for Bitcoin mining comes from sustainable sources, and energy efficiency improved 46% year over year."
Yeah, Bitcoin miner, it's a machine to create security in cyberspace, right? That's what it is. You have to see it as a transmitter of encrypted energy. It creates a wall of encrypted energy. Right, you're feeding electricity into one end, and out the other end comes a hashed wall, and then you're building
like a bank vault, but virtual, right?
Yeah, that's probably an energy vault. You're putting electricity in, and you're creating a vault of encrypted energy, and that's what you're using to build as your foundation to build civilization in cyberspace. I guess, and a lot of people can't figure it out. They can't work it out. But you ever cross a bridge and you look down at the caissons or the structures the bridges are built on, and the bridge is resting on these, what are they, caissons, I suppose, resting on these structures, and they're buried 30 feet down into the East River or the Hudson River. And the average person can't figure out how to create that bridge. But that doesn't mean that the bridge doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. And in this particular case, I see the Bitcoin miners as the foundation to hold up the entire digital ecosystem. And we're feeding them electricity, and then we're running them through an ASIC, and the ASICs just keep getting more and more efficient.
So, do you agree with Michael Saylor's take on Bitcoin energy misconceptions? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.